Hey guys, it's Sora back here with another video about some action figures. Today we're not actually going to be taking a look at something new, we're actually going to be looking at some updates for stuff that I have already looked at. Well, there's a couple of new things here, but it's not worth its own video, and I'll tell you the reason why. But I bought a few figures. I buy a lot of figures all the time, but I've had some updates to some of the stuff that I've already shown off, and so it wouldn't really warrant another video. So I'm just gonna put them all into one big video, and I really like the way that Robo from the Foosh does his playdays. So kind of in the same style as that. And to that end, let's start off with a figure that I've already shown off in some size comparisons, which is Mando here. I got him a custom cape from Rebel 10 Customs. And speaking of the Foosh, I did hear about Rebel 10 from the Foosh. So it's a really nice cape. I like the material on it. You can see it's kind of frayed at the very ends right there. It's wired, so that's why you get that little windswept look that I have him in. Really cool. One thing that I have noticed with this figure, though, just another update to this figure, I've had him posed a certain way, which is like with the gun down, like holding it with both of his hands, and you'll see that the paint where the barrel holds it has scraped off right there. And you can see it's on the arm. So it doesn't scrape off the chest, it scrapes off the arm. So be careful about that, because that sucks. Because I didn't have him posed any special way. It was literally posed the way he would have the gun held in both of his, with both hands. Just the way that the plastic, and it's not that I had him in any sort of hot, condition. The plastic just tends to melt off for whatever reason. So I don't know, but the cape looks really nice on it. It's really crazy how much a cloth cape really makes this figure come to life. But there's him. I'm sorry, I'm still getting used to the wide angle lens. So if he was out of shot for a few seconds, I'm sorry. I got something else from Rebel 10, which is I was trying to discreetly open the packaging, but it's plastic, so it's not gonna happen. But I've actually since put away this figure, which is this Obi-Wan figure, which I've already shown off. But I mentioned in that video, I think, that I was gonna get a custom robe for him, which I did end up getting, also from Rebel 10 Customs. The material on this robe is a lot thinner than it looks. Unless it already looks pretty thin. It might even have the same, thickness as, the regular, robes that some of the Black Series figures come with. But, because of how thin it is, it gets out of the way when you're, articulating it, and it still gives the illusion that it's a big old Jedi robe. Also, the hood sits pretty nicely. It's also wired all the way at the very top, right there. I heard that if you dip it in water and pose it, this hood will sit differently, but I'm gonna have him with the hood down anyway. It's also got wires running down through here, so you can get, same with the Mando cape, you can have it, splayed out in a certain way. It looks really nice, and I might not be done modding this guy, not modding, but, adding stuff to this guy. I've looked into buying, fishing lures, for a custom lightsaber. There is the Kotobukiya, is it the Kotobukiya? Like the LED thingies that you can get for Gundams or whatever. Those things are $50 if I want a blue one. But I can just buy a fishing lure, an LED fishing lure for $12 and just mod it that way. So I might do something like that. It'll be a little less fancy, but it'll also be a fraction of the cost. But again, it's a really nice cape and robe. And I'll put a link to Rebel 10 in the description, because she's pretty available on Instagram, so it's really easy to contact her. Really prompt delivery. But just to keep the trend of cloth goods for Star Wars figures. I also bought the Mandalorian and the Beskar outfit. Now, I didn't actually review this guy, but considering he's the exact same as the regular Mandalorian, I'm not gonna bother with him. I'll tell you that it's a little shinier, which is cool. But I did also notice it runs into the same problem. So this is the pose I was talking about. I had him in this pose originally. The reason why I changed the reason why I changed this guy's pose is because I had him pose like this, and then when I took the gun out, I noticed that the paint has chipped off. And it's not that I was keeping him in any sort of like cold conditions. In fact, I'm pretty sure if I take this out, it's hard to notice, but the paint is doing the same thing here. So I've just been trying to very carefully. He's holding the gun like a little bit out now, um, just to make sure that they're not like 100% touching. Um, but it's just because I just really like the standard kind of like neutral kind of ready pose. Um, but beware that it does scrape off the paint. And on the original Mando figure that I've had, some of the paint has been chipped off on the hands and everything. So be careful about that. Unfortunately, the same problem seems to persist with this guy. And you could argue that it might be like the weather, like, maybe the heat has chipped it off. But this guy, I got the Beskar Armor Mandalorian brand new like a few weeks ago, and it's already starting to chip on the paint. But other than that, it looks really nice. Obviously, the design is a bit more consistent because now he's wearing like a full silver armor. Um, I was not originally gonna buy this, but I just kept looking at it, and I kept seeing posters of the Mandalorian. I'm like, time to buy it. But it also gave me a chance to buy another custom cape. This time from Mudhorn Customs, and also heard about this guy from the Foosh. But as much as I like the Rebel 10 Customs cape for Mandalorian, the way that the edges here are frayed are a bit more natural. Also, there's like holes right here, and also it's weathered at the bottom, so it's a bit more realistic. I also tend to like the material used on this a lot better. It's a little thicker, I think. It's also a lot softer. Like, I would honestly buy a shirt with this material. It's really comfy. But and also the wire is a bit thinner than this. This one feels a bit thicker. Well, actually, the wires might be a bit the same, but this one, the wires on the original Mando cape that I had from Rebel 10, the same one that's used here. I think it's like a straight up iron pipe because I can feel the plastic bits that iron pipes are made out of. They feel a bit more secure, whereas this is like just a straight up wire going down here. So this might end up causing a problem if I play around with it too much. But I doubt I'm gonna have them posed in any way other than this, just because again, I like the ready pose. I like the ready pose a lot. But it's really good. And again, I'll leave a link to the description to Mudhorn Customs shop in the description as well. And one last bit of cloth goods. I've put up a review of the Lim Toys Venom Snake Ahab figure, and I lamented the fact that it did not come with any of the scarf pieces, any of the stickers that it was supposed to come with, the cardboard box, and the actual scarf itself, and the horns. And I mentioned that I already talked to Lim Toys about it, and they said that it would take 3 weeks to ship, and it took 3 weeks to ship. I actually got, so you can see I have them right here. Don't ask me how I got the scarf that way. I just tried my best. I actually got this scarf like exactly 3 weeks on the dot when I contacted them. I contacted both Lim Toys, who told me to contact the shop which I purchased it from, which it would be Giant Toy or Gian Toy. So I contacted them, and they told me it was a known issue, and they got it to me promptly. So I this video's a lot later than when I got it, but I was waiting on all my other stuff to ship, but they did send it to me promptly. Unfortunately, it didn't, show up with the figure, but at the very least, they were gracious enough to send it to me. Um, it looks really nice, and honestly, it completes the look. This is my Venom snake with the scarf and everything, and also straight up just the horn. It was missing the horn. Um, so since that time, I've again posed the scarf here. I've also glued this horn down in there because these things are so tiny, and I like that they give you the option to put the other ones, and I'll show you what the rest of the accessories that I couldn't show off originally on here. But at the same time, it's so tiny, and a little accidental tap might end up like dislodging it, and you'll lose it forever. Um, so I just glued it down. I've also glued the head onto the little peg that it's on, so it just stays on there now. Be careful when you do that because the head does sink lower than the peg, so I kind of had to lift it up so I can get the neck in there to make it look natural. But, having it like this completes the look for me. Looks really good. It's 100% the best 1/12 scale Venom Snake figure, or actually, you know what, honestly, any Metal Gear figure that I've ever seen. Uh, and I think the best representation in 1/6 scale would be the Lim Toys Ahab, the bigger one. But so here's the reason why all that was gone is because it was straight up just missing this. You see how it comes in like one little plastic baggie? This piece, which straight up did not ship with some of the A++ versions. So you can see the horns in that little dime bag in there that I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just really glad I still have them and did not like lose them. Comes with a scarf, obviously, which I have twisted around to make it look like it's naturally on him. Don't ask me how I did that. I don't know. I tried my best. Also comes this giant cardboard box, which you can fold up and fit him inside of, which I'm not gonna glue it down or whatever, or even mess with it. But it's a cardboard box. It's made out of cardboard. It's really cool because it could just be a plain old cardboard box, but you can see little eye hole slit. Ooh, little eye hole slit right there. Little text here. That's funny. There's some text on there. We are Lim Toys if you're reading this. Yeah, like right here it says Lim Toys on the little thingy right here. I think it would say Diamond Dogs in the original game, but yeah, it's pretty high quality. It's a cardboard box. What else could you ask for? Also comes with the sticker of a Russian soldier, because you can disguise the cardboard box to pretend like you're a Russian soldier. Also comes with a sticker for the watch and a sticker for the Walkman. And you can see I've already taken one out because I've already put it on there. And they're tiny, but you know what? They've stuck, actually. If my camera will focus on it. Probably not. Because of the wide angle lens, maybe. I have no idea. But in any case, yeah, it's stuck on there. Maybe if I move the light away, you might be able to see it better. Yeah, I need to do something with this camera and figure out what's going on here. But yeah, it makes the figure look a lot more whole in a sense, and it looks really good as a result. And the very last thing that I want to show off is not something that I've shown off before, but I've spent too much money on it to not put it in a video. It is this guy, the Arsene model kit by Axe. And the reason why he's not getting a figure review is because of how brittle he is. You can see I have him posed up with Joker over there, and Joker I'm not gonna do a review of that. I've had that figure for so long, it doesn't matter. But this model kit of Arsene is meant specifically to be in scale with the Figma figures. And so when I heard about it, I was like, that sounds amazing, so I'm just gonna buy that. And I bought it, and I even made a big video of filming myself making it. and it took about 4 hours because I had to film it. I was going a lot slower than I normally would. And at the very last step, I had to put the wings in, and then I realized I put the wings in wrong, like not the angle that I wanted it to. So I tried to move it, and it just snapped off. And in the process of trying to glue it back on, the arm fell off. And then when I moved the other arm, it snapped off, and then the other wing broke off, and this figure basically disintegrated in my hands. It's a really nice looking model kit. Like visually, uh, it looks really good. I have him posed like this because I'm not gonna move this figure because this is actually a second Arsene model kit that I purchased. Like it took a really long time for me to contemplate, should I buy another one of these? Is it even worth my money? But I bought it at a time when like Persona figures and Persona merch that I wanted was like slowly going out of stock, and I wasn't sure if they were ever gonna come out with it again. And it really does complete the look. Like the Joker Figma by itself looks really nice, but like having him stand next to his Persona like that, it looks really really good. Unfortunately, I spent like $140 on it because I had to buy it twice. Um, if you are really, really experienced with model kits, um, consider it. If you're a beginner, if you've never purchased a model kit before, I would highly suggest you stay the hell away from this. If I could have bought like some sort of acrylic stand for it, I would have preferred that. It might have even lit up as like a feature, and that would have been way cooler. But considering the fact that I can't even move this guy, because I'm scared of breaking it. But yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why I'm not gonna make a figure review of this, because moving him around in any sort of way would cause me great anxiety. And so the reason why I had to slide him in a frame is I didn't even want to touch the figure. I wanted to like just hold on to the base. Um, but other than that, it's a really nice figure. Um, look wise, Axe, the people that made this model kit, should not have made it into a model kit. They should have just made it a straight up figure, or maybe should have licensed Figma to make the personas as well, because I know they got Sentinel to do the Johanna figure for Makoto, which is in scale with the Figmas, but it is also $200 by itself. Like this one's like $70 when I bought it by itself. I just bought it twice. So it was like $140. Um, so consider that. I mean, if you really like the design, you know, take into consideration how much trouble you'd have to go to. It's also, again, it's a mono kit, so it's going to be unpainted out of the box. It's very brittle. It's not the same quality as Bandai makes their model kits. Like I've had this. Hold on, I think in a couple minutes my camera will just straight up turn off. But I've had this Grimguard figure. This is my first model kit that I built like years ago, and since then I have stuffed it into a box, like folded it up, threw it around. It is still 100% pristine. I mean, the only thing is that some of the pieces are loose, but that's how they were out of the box, and I could easily remedy that with like some glue, with some crazy glue. But it's pristine. Like none of it has broken off. The joints are they make sense where they've placed them. The ball joints make sense. Like the reason why it's so brittle is because the joints here are connected by some weird plastic ball joints, which is made with the same material as the rest of the plastic here. And so when you move them, like these things are like two halves of a circle. Like they're made to look like a Revoltech joint, except with a poor material. So they just end up breaking. So consider that really if you're gonna buy this figure. Like it's for looks only. It's not meant to be posed around multiple ways. You pose it once and then you stop touching it forever. But that's it for me. I would make this video longer, but I still can't figure out this new camera. It just cuts off after 20 or so minutes. But until next time, thank you all so much for watching. I'll have more figure reviews, more gaming related videos soon. Until next time, stay safe, take care, and peace out. Bye bye.